12th, 2019, 11:20 p.m. Leimert Park, Los Angeles, California. A Ring doorbell camera picked up audio that would send chills down your spine. A woman's desperate screams piercing through the night. "Somebody help me! Somebody help me, please!" The homeowner stepped outside to see what was happening. Seconds later, a white Prius speeds past. The trunk appears to be open. A male voice can be heard shouting, I'm sorry," as the woman continues screaming for help. Witnesses reported seeing a black female in the passenger seat and a black male driving, forcing her to stay in the vehicle. Despite multiple neighbors hearing the screams, nobody intervened. Fear kept them inside. By the time police arrived, the car was gone. The woman vanished into the night. The LAPD launched an investigation canvassing the entire neighborhood for additional footage. But here's what makes this even more disturbing. They never found her. The case remains open. Somewhere out there, that woman's screams still echo unanswered. This is just one of 7 terrifying moments caught on doorbell cameras. Moments that prove sometimes the most horrifying things happen right on our doorsteps. October 2020, time unknown, location unknown, United States. A homeowner received a notification on their Ring app. Someone was at their door, but this wasn't a delivery driver. This wasn't a neighbor. The man approaches the door with an unsettling confidence. No hesitation, no looking around nervously. He walks up like he owns the place. Watch his body language. He's not drunk. He's not stumbling. He moves with purpose. He reaches for the door handle and tries to open it. When he realizes it's locked, there's no confusion on his face, no embarrassment. He just turns around and walks away, calmly, like this was just another house on his list. The homeowner called the police. Their response? He was probably drunk and lost. But look at the footage again. Does that look like someone who's lost? This man tested the door like he was checking inventory. When the cops told the homeowner it was probably nothing, their gut told them otherwise. And maybe their gut was right, because in that same neighborhood over the next few weeks, 3 houses were broken into, all of them during the day, all through unlocked doors. The man was never identified. He's still out there, still checking doors, still looking for the one that opens. October 2020, afternoon, United States.
Mommy! Make it stop! I'm coming in! I'm sorry, people! I'm sorry! The door's open now! This is weird shit. Ah, fuck! Damn it!
A 14-year-old girl was home alone when the doorbell rang. What she saw on her Ring camera would traumatize her. A man clearly under the influence of drugs was at her front door. His eyes were wild, his movements erratic. He kept repeating, "Mommy, mommy," over and over.
Mommy! Mommy!
Then he said something that made her blood run cold. "I'm about to come in." The door's open now. He reached for the handle, started pushing. The girl was frozen. She was 14, years old, alone, and this man was trying to get inside. Fortunately, the door was locked. The man eventually stumbled away, but the terror didn't end there. Later that same day, police were called to his house. The man had destroyed his own home in a drug-fueled rage. Everything inside was smashed. Walls were punched through. Furniture was obliterated. He was arrested. But imagine if that door hadn't been locked. Imagine if that 14-year-old girl had been the one who opened it. The homeowner later said their daughter still checks the locks multiple times every night. Some fears don't just fade away. August 2020, early morning, approximately 5 a.m. Mesa, Arizona.
Hey guys, yeah, their house is on fire.
I know, I'm knocking on the door, there's nobody answering.
Gladys Castaneda and her 2 young daughters, Victoria and Emily, were sound asleep. They had no idea that next door, their neighbor's house was engulfed in flames, and those flames were spreading. A man named Ty Byers looked out his window and saw the fire. Then he noticed something terrifying. Gladys's family wasn't outside. They were still inside, asleep, unaware.
Can I help you?
The house next door to you is on fire. Your house is almost on fire.
Okay, thank you.
Ty sprinted across the street and started pounding on their windows and door. Gladys woke up terrified. She thought someone was trying to break in. In the darkness, she couldn't see the smoke that was already seeping into her home.
The house next door to you is on fire. Your house is almost on fire.
Then Ty saw the Ring doorbell camera. He looked directly into it and screamed, "Your house is almost on fire." Gladys jumped out of bed and ran to her eldest daughter Emily's room, still in complete darkness. She couldn't see the smoke, didn't smell it yet. She grabbed Victoria, ran to the door, and handed her to Ty. Then she sprinted back inside for Emily. Firefighters later said if Ty had arrived 5 minutes later, the roof would have collapsed on them. 5 minutes. That's the difference between life and death. Gladys later admitted she didn't want to share the video out of respect for her neighbors who lost everything, but then she changed her mind. What they did was amazing, she said. Ty, a new neighbor she barely knew, had saved her family's lives. The power of a doorbell camera and one person's courage. January 5th, 2020, 3 a.m. Lee's Summit, Missouri. A Ring doorbell camera captured a peaceful suburban street, the kind of neighborhood where people feel safe, where they leave their porch lights on and their garage doors unlocked. Then, in an instant, everything changed. A vehicle speeds down Southeast 11th Street. Muzzle flashes light up the darkness. The sound of gunfire shatters the silence. Bullets slam into a garage door. Cars in the driveway are hit. Glass explodes. Remarkably, nobody was injured. The family inside was asleep, and somehow miraculously, no stray bullets found them. But this wasn't random. Police confirmed the shooting was targeted. The people in that house were specifically chosen. What makes this even more disturbing is what neighbors told reporters. "This is not the first time," one woman said, "but this is the first time there's actually been shots." The Lee's Summit Drug Unit had served a warrant at that same house just a week earlier. The neighborhood was terrified. Ron Constable, who'd lived there for 23 years, said, "Everybody's scared now about going out in the neighborhood. It's very scary because nothing really happened in this neighborhood until we started having problems there. The shooter was never caught. That doorbell footage is the only evidence of what happened that night, and somewhere out there, someone knows exactly why those bullets were fired." Fate unknown. Time, night, location unknown. A homeowner received a notification. Someone was at their front door. They checked the Ring app. Nobody was there. The porch was empty, but then they listened to the audio. A voice, clear, distinct, inhuman, speaking words that shouldn't exist. The homeowner's cat was inside, gently meowing to be let out. But this voice, this wasn't coming from the cat. It wasn't coming from anywhere near the front door. The homeowner reviewed the footage multiple times, enhanced the audio, tried to find a rational explanation. A neighbor's TV, someone walking by with a phone. Wind creating a sound illusion? Nothing fit. The voice was captured directly by the Ring doorbell's microphone. Crystal clear, undeniable. But there was nobody there. Some people believe doorbell cameras can pick up frequencies we can't normally hear. Others think they capture residual energy. Whatever the explanation, that voice is on the recording. And it shouldn't be. The homeowner still uses that Ring doorbell, but they muted the notifications at night. Some things you don't want to hear in the darkness. April 13th, 2025, 11:30 a.m., Double Spur Loop, Northwest Austin, Texas. A Nest doorbell camera was recording a normal Sunday morning. Quiet, peaceful, the kind of day where nothing bad is supposed to happen. Then the house across the street exploded. Not caught fire, not gradually filled with smoke. Exploded. In an instant, a 2-story home was obliterated, completely leveled to the ground. The shockwave shattered windows in 24 surrounding homes. Garage doors were blown off their hinges. Ceilings collapsed inside houses 2 streets away. The explosion was so powerful, it was heard in Georgetown, 25 miles away. People thought it was a bomb. Witnesses described it as sounding like a war zone. 6 people were injured, 2 were inside the house when it exploded. 1 critically injured, 1 in serious condition. A 3rd person in the neighboring home suffered critical injuries when their house partially collapsed from the blast. The homeowner, Sarah Felix, and her family had no warning, no gas smell, no indication that in seconds their house would cease to exist. Investigators believe it was a propane leak. Gas had been silently filling the house. For possibly hours, maybe days, all it took was 1 spark, a doorbell, static electricity, a light switch, any tiny ignition source. The footage captured by that Nest camera is terrifying because of how sudden it is. 1 second, normal life. The next second, total destruction. The owner of the house had burned over much of his body and a broken leg, but he survived. Somehow miraculously, in an explosion that leveled an entire house, nobody died. That doorbell footage shows us how fragile our safety really is, how quickly everything can change. 1 spark, 1 second. That's all it takes. October 2022, time unknown, location unknown.
Hey!
Dashcam footage shows a car driving down a residential street. Normal day, normal drive. Then the passengers notice something. Smoke coming from a house's balcony. They don't drive past. They don't assume someone else will handle it. They stop the car and run toward the burning house. On the 2nd floor balcony, a man is standing there as flames consume the railing, spreading toward him. He's trapped. The fire is between him and the door back inside. If the flames reach the inside, he's dead. If the balcony collapses, he's dead. But this man has something the fire doesn't, a garden hose.
What's your name?
I keep that, Rita.
We saw it out here trying to Oh my God, thank you! Oh my God!
Oh, wow.
While the strangers below shout instructions and prepare to call 911, the homeowner grabs his hose and starts fighting the fire himself. Water sprays onto the flames. Smoke billows. The fire fights back, but slowly, incredibly, the man gains ground. The people who stopped didn't just watch. They ran to help, ready to catch him if he had to jump, ready to do whatever it took. Complete strangers, risking themselves for someone they'd never met. Within minutes, the fire was out. The man was safe. The house was damaged but standing. And it's all because a few people driving by decided that someone else's emergency was their emergency too. This footage reminds us of something important. Doorbell cameras and dash cams don't just capture horror. They capture heroism. They show us that when everything goes wrong, sometimes there are people who make it right.